The shop was there with a massive coming soon poster on it. There was a small section of front of the shop, and we'd put loads of basil plants. We put some nice like lighting, and it basically looked like a cannabis factory. The police came down, and within like a week it had gone viral on the social media.
Expansion then, about 6 years, you've gone from having 3 stores to 160.
We opened 48 stores in the year.
What are your annual figures at the moment, profit and revenue?
Just under 60 million a year. Rented a tank for the day, wrapped it in Fireaway branding, got my mate DMO that you know to jump on the tank, but then delivered some pizzas. DMO delivered one to Pizza Hut in Piccadilly Circus, but then we pulled up outside Domino's in Holborn. DMO jumped off, went up to the door. All the staff inside were like confused. They thought they were like under attack.
Pizza Hut is washed. We just did. We just did.
Hello and welcome to episode 19 of the GVE Podcast, and today we have the CEO of Fireaway Pizza, Mario Aleppo, on the show with us. Thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
So if you guys don't know, Fireaway Pizza is the fastest growing pizza brand in the UK. What a business you got, man. Amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And so when did you start this business?
We started in 2016, so about 7 years ago.
Okay, and so I was told that you initially had a coffee shop, is that right?
Yeah.
And so what happened with that?
Done your research. That failed miserably, unfortunately, in about 6 months. But it was a good learning curve because obviously I learned the foundations of starting a business. But didn't go to plan.
Where was the coffee shop?
2 in Broadway.
Okay, so I guess you saved up some money.
Yeah.
And you got a little shop and you converted it into a coffee shop.
Yeah.
And then how does a coffee shop fail? Just not enough people coming there, or?
I'm not really an early morning person, and obviously running a coffee shop is generally an early morning thing. So we opened at 6 o'clock, and it just wasn't for me. Also had a lot of friends like hanging around outside, and it just wasn't. Yeah, it was good, but it done all right, but it didn't do enough to be sustainable.
Really?
What made you want to get into that game in the first place?
To be honest, George, I dropped out of school at 16, and then dropped out of college at 18. So there wasn't very many options. So obviously, I weighed up how much money I had saved up compared to what business I could open, and really, opening a coffee shop in the size of like a big toilet, basically.
Really?
That was the size. It was probably about 2 meters by 3 meters.
When going back a bit, when you say you dropped out of school, was that your choice or did something happen?
I didn't really have any other options. I mean, educational wise, I wasn't really the brightest, spark in the room, and education wasn't really for me. So obviously, I wanted to work for myself. And then I looked at the options that were available with the money that I had, and found a little shop. I think the rent was about £200 a week. It was a section of another shop, so it wasn't even a full shop. It was a section of another shop. £200 a week. Got a coffee machine, got some fridges, got some freezers. Started selling coffee.
Coffee machines must be bloody expensive, no?
Yeah, especially when they break down.
Oh, really? Yeah.
And what was when did you first realise that you were going to be an entrepreneur, you had that in you? Was it that stage or was it before?
No,
was it when you were younger?
I think it was when I was younger, like in school. I weren't really a fan of school, and I would, go in as little as possible. But then when I realised that there was no other option but to go in, I looked at how I could pass the time, and most of it was just selling sweets in the playground. Okay. And that's, I would say, looking back now, when it started.
So that was your first...
Yeah. At the time, I didn't really think of it like that.
No one really does in the
I
playground.
think everybody's got one of those school stories.
When they're selling something. I was about to say, your initial capital you raised for the shop was all through selling sweets at school.
Yeah.
No way.
That's insane. So how much did you raise doing that?
Mainly it came from a car crash that I was involved in. So I got a whiplash talking to cars, I was involved in quite a bad car crash in my first car.
No way.
I was about 19. I was driving down Tooting Broadway High Street. A stupid woman, come out the side road, hit me in the side, knocked me onto the other side of the road, and another car coming the opposite way hit me.
Oh my God.
And funny enough, there was an off-duty policewoman walking past, and she, for some strange reason, blamed us. And she came running over like, don't move, on her radio. They're trying to get away. Obviously, the car's on its side.
Said you were trying to get away.
That's what she said. Obviously, the car's on its side. We couldn't go nowhere. And it weren't my fault. But yeah, got arrested for driving without due care and attention. Got to court. They said, look, you either pay for a solicitor or you represent yourself. So at the time, I didn't have any money, so I represented myself, and I won the case.
No way. Fair play.
Oh,
how long did that whole saga last for with
A
court?
good 6 months. And then I got, once that had been put to a side, then obviously I got the whiplash. I think it was 3 or 4 grand. Plus I had about 3 or 4 grand saved up and opened a coffee shop.
Coffee shop.
Well done.
So at what point did you realize, like, no, this coffee shop thing isn't the right?
Yeah, probably after 5 or 6 months, I couldn't do it anymore. Waking up at 6 in the morning and it weren't really taking enough money, so closed that down and then spent a year just deciding or thinking what to do. And then after a year, 18 months, opened the Fireaway. Although at first I was going to do a Subway, so I got the shop, went to all the Subway meetings, and then at the last minute thought, you know what, I'll just do my own thing, because they were charging too much fees. They were opening too many stores too close to each other. So I thought I might as well just do my own thing.
Why was it Subway? Is it something you personally
just something
liked?
simple. I didn't want anything I don't like headaches. Just something simple, sandwiches and simple.
Subway at one point was just all the
Smashing
rage,
it.
right? It
Yeah.
was just like everybody in all the financial districts, and you have queues coming out of them and whatnot. So it made absolute sense. If you can make 200 grand or even £250,000 profit in a year out of a Subway franchise,
And you don't need to. You don't need that much space. You don't need that much equipment. You don't need that much training. It's pretty straightforward. But now I think they're going downhill because they're opening just way too many stores,
Really?
too close to each other, and
You said they were charging too much on their fees. I mean, what did they put on the
I
table
think
for
they
you?
charge at the time. I think they're charging maybe 150 grand to open a shop, and then 6% of your weekly take-ins they take for franchise fees, and then 2% of your weekly take-ins they take for marketing fees. So that's nearly 10% before you even make any money.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you definitely made the right choice.
Yeah, 100%.
Going your own route.
In fact, we've changed a few Subways into Fireways now.
Oh, really?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Nice. But the initial 150 grand capital then, so you've just come from selling sweets to getting claim 1 on Whiplash to then having a failed coffee shop. How would you have raised
So no, that
150?
was for the Subway. But for the Fireaway, I invested maybe 40 grand. So I had the Whiplash money saved up, and some money that my grandmother left me when she passed away. So 40 grand. And the builders were good friends of mine, some Polish guys that were renting rooms in my house. So they'd done the work, and I just paid them back every month, which was a touch.
Oh wow.
Nice.
Yeah.
So it went from being a coffee shop, and then you found another shop, and you've converted it using 40 grand into a pizza shop. But was it always your intention to start your own pizza brand, or were you going to go into anything else?
I think because I went so far down the line with Subway, and then at the last minute I said, you know what, it's not for me. But I'd already had a shop, already got the keys, so I thought I have to do something.
Yeah.
And then I thought, keep the Subway kind of layout, but being half Italian, pizza's obviously, a popular thing in Italy. So I thought, let me do the pizza, but let me keep the Subway style. So it's basically make your own pizza instead of make your own sandwich.
What's your other half?
Say again?
What's your other half? So half
English,
Italian.
English.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And so you decided, but you didn't want to go into any of the other franchises like your Papa John's or anything like that?
I think they're too expensive. I think for me, I just wanted to do my own thing.
Yeah.
In the back of my head, at least. I wanted to do my own thing. I wanted to be my own boss. I wanted to wake up, when I want. I want to work when I want and go sleep when I want.
Yeah.
Ironically, I ain't got time to sleep, and I don't do what I want. I ain't got time to do what I want now. But obviously, it's been successful.
That's probably the biggest misconception of a business owner. People think, God, he can do
So
what he wants.
easy.
He's got all the time in the world. But it's completely the opposite.
So you've started this pizza brand. Where did the Fireaway
To be honest, Subway, but we use a fire oven. If I'm being fully honest, I can't make out this.
You know
some
what? I've
sort
never
of,
actually thought of that. That's quite smart.
you know, some extra clever idea, but that's basically what it is.
That's your USP as well, isn't it? It's fire baked.
Yeah,
As opposed to what the Pizza Hut and Domino's would just use
some
like
old
a grill.
electric ovens. Yeah, so we use like a proper fire oven from here.
And was it the same concept from day one, or do you feel like you've developed the business?
Yeah, we've made tweaks, but it's pretty much the
The
same.
same oven,
Yeah.
same 100 and I think what 80 seconds. Yeah.
It's a simple. I think simple ideas. I used to spend a lot of time like overthinking and thinking of like these crazy ideas, but I think at the end of the day, as long as you got something that works and simple, and can easily be replicated, then there's no reason why it won't succeed.
But so you started this pizza shop, takeaway, and it was with the intention of it being similar to Subway, right? So you've got lots of toppings and you can just choose as you do with a Subway thing. But what made it take off? Because I think one of the guys upstairs said, well, have you seen that actually your prices compared to other big brands are a lot better, right? A lot more affordable, yet the quality is still as good, if not better, right?
I think them big brands, they pay, as I said, like 8%, 10% franchise fees every week. So that's a lot of money right there. The color branding works, the quality, like you said, and the fact that our prices are, substantially better than the competition. I think you have to. There's no other option, isn't it? You have to. If you want to beat the competition, there's no other option. You have to do, what you have to do. It might mean making a bit less money, but
Did you come up with all their branding yourself then?
Yeah, I just picked 2 colors. I think it's good to keep it simple instead of like loads of different colors and complicated like logos, and just keep it simple. And it stands out.
Why orange?
No idea, just black and something, because obviously the contrast, and it was either black and orange or black and like lime green or black and yellow, and we went with like black and orange.
So at what point did you realize that this store's taking off and, I need to start opening up other franchises?
Pretty much straight away it took off. Like
Really?
Pretty much straight away.
But didn't you have like competition all around you?
We had a Papa John's around the corner, and we had like some, independent pizza places. It weren't the greatest place where we opened, but obviously that's all we could afford for the rent in Sutton in South London. So it took off straight away. Good feedback from customers, and I didn't think about doing a franchise myself. We had a customer that came in, he was a regular, and one day he said him and his son were looking to do a business. Would I be interested in like offering a franchise? So I said yeah. Gave it to him for like pretty much nothing. Let him do it. He opened down the road in Streatham, 20 minutes down the road, and his store was busier than mine.
No way.
Yeah, so that was good. Yeah, but if it wasn't for him, I don't know if I'd gone down the franchise route, to be fair.
So that was never the plan? That was never in your head?
No, it was never the plan. Obviously in my head, you always think like, open loads of stores, but I realised very early on that one store is more than enough headache. I was basically the manager, the driver, the cleaner, everything except the chef. So
how many people did you employ when you just opened up?
2 chefs, 2 drivers with me, and maybe 1 assistant, so 5 people.
I don't know if you can let us in on this, but what was your when you started up in the first year, what was your turnover and your profit?
This was about 6.5, 7 years ago, and we were doing about £8,000 a week with about £1,500 profit. Which, from what I'm hearing, most businesses don't make a profit in the first year, apparently. So the fact that we're making like £6,000 a month wasn't bad.
So you're making £6,000 a month in profit, out of the shop. Wow, that's and then I'm guessing that profitability carried on increasing in that one store.
Yeah, it went up.
What's your most profitable store right now then?
Bristol.
Yeah.
So the guy does £27,000 a week turnover with a profit of about £5,000-6,000 a week.
That is brilliant.
And he only pays us like £800 a month franchise fees. But we distribute all the stock to all the stores. So we got a warehouse in Milton Keynes.
So that's brilliant because
that's where the money comes from. To be honest, not from £800 a month.
Really?
Yeah.
So 800. Okay, obviously you got that's a very profitable store. he's doing £27,000 a week.
Yeah.
That's insane.
That's crazy.
£27,000 worth of
a lot of
pizzas
pizza,
a week
man.
from one shop.
Yeah, and then out of that you get a proportion of his takings, which is a percentage, right? I take.
No, we don't take a percentage. So that's where we differ from the competition. So
Yeah.
we, instead of taking a percentage and going around checking people's tills, we just said, look, let's call it set fee every month, and then we don't have to, worry. So
wow.
that's a lot. That's why we don't have as much of a marketing budget as obviously the big people in the game.
Got it.
But we've grown a lot. We're making all right money.
You say that, but you're everywhere. Like every
Yeah.
time, like you do a lot of with UK artists.
Yeah.
You do a lot of publicity stunts as well.
Yeah.
So
But to be fully honest, and obviously I have to be honest and transparent, Domino's have got 1,200 stores.
Yeah,
And we've got 160 stores. So we've got a long way to go. They've been around since 1985.
yeah,
So if you look at it like that, yeah, but still, we are kind of new.
yeah. But I mean, that's seriously impressive. If you look at since 1985, for them to get that many stores up till now, I mean, if you then say,
Yeah.
okay, in that same amount of time, based on the
Yeah,
growth
yeah,
rate
yeah.
that you've got currently, you're probably looking like 5,000 stores if it was to continue on the same rate. Obviously,
Yeah.
you know,
But again, we don't want to go down the Subway route of like cannibalizing
Yes.
all the stores. So I think personally, I'll be happy with about 500 stores, or say
Yeah.
400 to 500 stores in the next 6 years. I'll be happy with that.
That's really interesting though, that £800 set fee. And I mean, from what you've gone and done is gone back to your initial time that you went to Subway and thought, there's going to be other people that are thinking like I used to think about Subway, that why am I going to work so hard and they're going to take 10% of my takings before I've even done anything. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's pretty cool that people have. Would you say that's one of the main drivers that is?
I think that's one of the main drivers. But again, that's why the competition have like a massive marketing budget. They're on TV. You know how many times you get leaflets through your door.
Yeah.
Obviously, it all costs money. So our marketing budget is limited. So to be fair, we will probably have to increase that in the future.
Yeah.
But you got to do what you got to do in it to get where you
So
want.
as people approach you to open up a franchise, I mean, how does it work then? So
A lot of it's through word of mouth. So, but we do franchise exhibitions. We're on a few websites. So basically, once they come in, they find a shop. We go and look at it. If we think that it can work and the area is good, then they pay 150 grand, depending on the size of the shop. But on average, about 150 grand, and that's it. We do the whole shop: building, design, equipment, signage, kit out, everything, training.
And thereafter, then you've got the big distribution center, and then that then gives all the flour for the pizza and toppings and this, that, and the other.
Exactly, yeah.
how long did it take for you to try and get the contacts? So obviously you're sourcing this on a bigger scale, flour, toppings, whatever.
So after I opened the first shop. That guy opened the second shop after a few months, and then I opened a third shop in Thornton Heath in Croydon. So in the first year, we had 3 shops. In the second year, we didn't open any shops. And in the third year, and the fourth year, and the fifth year, and now last year, the 6th year, that's when it kind of took off. But we didn't open a distribution center until the 3rd year, because there was no point, opening getting a warehouse, and there's no point.
That's
We only had
brilliant,
3
though.
shops. So we used to outsource it to an Italian company in Enfield. And they used to give me a little drink for how much people spend. And then we thought, you know what, we need to open our own warehouse for consistency, for ease of use for the stores, and nothing's out of stock. We can control the prices. So once we had 50 stores, which was in about year 4, year 3, we got a warehouse in Kingston, and within 6 months we outgrew the warehouse, and then we moved to Milton Keynes.
And then from your distribution center, are you only supplying your own brand, or are you supplying competitors?
Only
as well?
ours, to be honest. Busy enough, but we have looked at that, about looking at just supplying other brands. But to be honest, we got 8 lorries, 10 drivers, 10 guys packing in the warehouse, 11 people in head office. It's a small but strong team. We don't really have time to be, distributing to other. Plus, we want to keep our own products, like they're specially made in Italy. So we don't really want every Tom, Dick, and Harry having all of our products.
If everybody's pizza tastes the same, then they're not gonna.
Maybe we can distribute like Coca-Cola and like the drinks and other stuff, because we get it direct from Coca-Cola.
Wow.
And we get Red Bull direct from Red Bull. So we get Oreo, Ferrero Rocher, Nutella. We get that stuff is obviously the same across the board.
So how much would you say social media has had a part to play in, obviously, like you've mentioned a few times now, you don't have the same marketing budget as like Pizza Hut, Domino's, all of these guys, right?
Yeah, we split it. We split it evenly between social media, Google and YouTube, and we got billboards, and we just done a television campaign, but that's a one-off because that was, you know, a massive cost.
Is that is your marketing more so to get new franchisees on board, or just to get the brand out there and get it?
More customers and brand, but with that comes obviously franchisees, because a lot of customers have turned franchisees.
Really?
So
it's very cool.
Yeah, my marketing guy is over there, so he's the guy to ask for that. But I think our budget is about 80-90 grand a month on marketing.
Wow, that's a lot of money, man. I mean, actually, I say it's a lot of mony
for 160 stores.
Yeah, for 160 stores, it's actually it's not a lot of money when you look at it like that. Yeah. No, and Anthony was saying that you've had artists collaborating and whatnot. How has that helped?
It's helped, but them kind of things are difficult to measure because I think there's two types of marketing. The first one is direct sales conversion. So you market to people, discount code, and they go and buy a pizza.
And you can see it there and then it's working.
But the other one is like brand awareness. So like TV campaigns and maybe radio and these like influencers. It's hard to measure if they actually work or not. You probably have the same, thing with the cars. It's difficult.
It's true. You never really get to see it directly off it, but I think it's the word of mouth thing definitely plays off.
Yeah,
that's the best.
You end up seeing the results in your end of year when you start saying, okay, hold on a second. Like you're saying, it's suddenly grown. You've got more franchisees on board. You're getting more customers. I mean, in the past couple of years, we're not in the food game, but Fireaway Pizza has been a massive name that's going around. I'd say it's up there now with Pizza Hut and Domino's.
Yeah, I think, and some of these more established brands that have got the thousands of stores, right? They don't, and it's funny because they just don't get social media. They think, okay, we'll pay like 100 grand to make a really proper video, and then they'll stick it out there, and they'll get something like 20,000 views on it, and that's it, right? And with actually, we've seen this in back when TikTok was starting out, maybe in the first year of TikTok, we saw that Lamborghini had done a video, and it clearly they'd easily spent, say, about a couple of 100 grand on it. We'd done a video with our phone and got like 30, 40 million views, and they'd got 20,000 views, and it was like, no, they don't get it, right?
It's also going back to teaching an old dog new tricks, right? So
yeah, I think just moving with the times, isn't it?
Some people are stuck in their old ways.
But I can kind of get it because they're like, well,
it's work
we are the big boys.
Yeah, they don't need to. They don't need to try.
Yeah.
It's funny with TikTok though. You always find that the videos that are done off your phone in a less professional manner, those are the ones that get more exposure and they blow up. With the ones you do professional videos and all edits and nice gimbals used, it's like they don't get that same exposure.
Yeah,
but you've also gone down the route of like PR stunts, haven't you?
Yeah, we've done a few PR stunts.
The one that comes to mind is the one in is it Enfield?
One in Holloway Road.
Holloway, that's it. Holloway.
What happened?
So basically, we got delayed with the building work because the council permission and all the rest of it got delayed. Anyway, the shop was there with a massive "coming soon" poster on it for a good couple months, and I was in a organic food shop in Fulham, and they were growing their own basil. And the first thing that came to mind when I saw it was, it looks like they're doing a grow, like a cannabis grow. So I thought, how can I, use that? So anyway, next thing you know, a week later, inside of the Holloway store, while the building work was going on, there was a small section of the front of the shop, which we had put a massive tent up, and we'd put loads of basil plants because we use fresh basil on the pizza, and we put some nice light in, and it basically looked like a cannabis factory. And we ripped off a little bit of the "coming soon" poster at the front of the shop, which covered the whole store. And within like a week, it had gone viral on the social media. The police came down.
Really? You got the police got involved?
We called the police. I called the police. I said, you need to come down. There's something dodgy happening in this shop. Yeah. They took about 2 hours to come, but they finally came.
Typical. Yeah.
And,
What did they say when they came?
By that time I'd left, but someone was I'd left, but someone was across the road filming, obviously, but they didn't go up and ask them any questions. But it was good. Obviously, you have to.
There wasn't like a helicopter above you.
No,
And stuff.
they smashed the door down. They saw pretty much straight away that it was obviously a joke. But it was good. And then outside of franchise exhibition last year, my Lamborghini got lifted because I parked on a double red. It had the Fireaway logo down the side. I thought I'd get a ticket, but I thought, you know what, it's right outside the franchise show. You know, why not? But the next thing you know, someone came in and said, yo, they're lifting your car.
Oh, no.
So I ran outside and it was in the air. And I was going to go up and say, like, yo, but then I thought there's too many people filming it. So I thought, you know what, just leave it. But luckily I did, because it went viral. And an hour later I went to the pound.
See, I saw that. I always thought that was done on purpose.
Yeah, so did a lot of people.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. I knew I'd get a ticket, but I didn't know they'd actually lift the car. But apparently in that council, they lift your car. Same in Croydon. If you leave your car, you get lifted.
Just get lifted.
It's just like everybody thought that the guy jumping on your car was a stunt.
That wasn't a stunt. I'm going to put it out there now. Everyone thinks purposely that car's left there. Someone's jumped all over it, caused a whole load of damage on the car. I swear to God, that was not a stunt.
That was terrible. But no, so social media has had a massive part.
Yeah, definitely. I think you have to move with the times and you have to be quick as well. Because now I think social media, the paid ads are not as effective as when social media first came out. Because obviously social media companies know they've got something, and then they say, all right, well, now your £10 doesn't get you 100 views, it gets you 50 views, you know?
Yeah. Do you have like an agency that helps you? Or
not? Clive is responsible for everything.
Okay. All right, cool. Okay, so that's not the only stunt that you've done. You've done the tank, right? Tell us about that.
So we rented a tank for the day, wrapped it in Fireaway branding. And
how do you rent a tank?
Like a full-on tank, you can lock and load.
There's this guy in near Milton Keynes. I don't know. He's like an ex-army guy. I don't know. Bro, he's got about 100 tanks.
No
way.
In his field. Big tanks, God. Small tanks,
he's
army
publicly
trucks.
Advertising this.
He's an ex-army guy. He's quite old, and
we need to get them on SOR.
And
we need to get him.
Are they road legal?
Yeah, as long as you have the special license. So they send someone with it to drive it wherever you want to drive it. And it's and you can go there like for a party or for like a stag do and crush cars in a tank.
No way.
Wow.
But we asked him if we could rent one for the day. So he sent it to London, wrapped it in Fireaway branding, got my mate DMO that you know to jump on the tank. We handed out loads of like free pizza cards and discounts. But then we delivered some pizzas. We delivered one, DMO delivered one to Pizza Hut in Piccadilly Circus.
Oh my God.
And actually like went into the store shouting, like it was mad. That one we didn't air because that was a bit too mad.
Sounds like a legal case waiting to happen.
Exactly.
What shop was that in Piccadilly Circus?
Pizza Hut.
Pizza Hut,
like a full-on restaurant. But then we pulled up outside Domino's in Holborn, which is a takeaway store, and DMO jumped off, went up to the door. All the staff inside were like confused. They thought they were like under attack by his tank. And he handed the pizza to the guy, and the guy took it, and then he realised that it was Fireaway, and he tried to give it back. By that point, it was too late. So yeah,
was he running after the tank?
He didn't say he was in shock.
As in DMO when he's handing them out.
He was like,
just giving pizza.
I think he said like, the best pizza now you know, or something like that.
They definitely had that. The staff definitely had that for lunch.
Yeah. They turned the CCTV off and they ate. But no, that was good. That got a lot of traction. A lot of people. Obviously, a tank driving down the middle of central London.
That's brilliant.
How long did it take to wrap that?
It was in like banners, so it didn't take long.
Okay.
Fine.
Banners on all sides, so maybe a few hours.
It's a good idea, man. We need to do that. All right. We need to work out a way. We just need to pull up to some supercar dealerships.
Yeah, and then just put a tank over their forecourt. Their cars.
All their cars.
Cross their cars.
That might be a bit too far.
But okay, so expansion then. It's just crazy to think that in such a short span of time, so say about 6 years, you've gone from having like 3 stores to 160, was it?
Yeah, so 2 years ago, 2022, we opened 48 stores in the year. So pretty much one a week, And then
were you overseeing every single one of these?
Yeah. I'm in 150 WhatsApp groups.
Oh my God.
And then last year we opened 35. And then this year we'll open maybe 30. Yeah. I think, to be honest, we are kind of slowing down and focusing on the service. I mean, the product's like 10 out of 10, but the service needs to that's where we can focus.
And how
is
are
it-
you involved in each one of these builds?
I mean, I oversee the people that oversee the builds. I mean, we have 3 building teams. We have a head chef that goes around. We have a training team. Obviously, we've got the people at head office. But I go pretty much to all of the openings.
You're saying you need to touch on service. What are the issues you're facing at the moment?
No, just like the competition normally deliver pizzas in about half an hour, and we're delivering them in about 45 minutes, to be totally transparent. So I think that's where we can, you know.
Are you making use of the likes of Uber Eats and delivery?
Yeah. I think they're a necessary evil because they bring you a lot of sales, but they take a massive commission.
Massive commission.
I can imagine like during the likes of COVID, Deliveroo and Uber Eats must have really helped you out and helped the business out.
Yeah,
expand,
100%, 100%.
How much commission do they take?
Normally, if you've got one shop, they take about 30%.
What?
But because we got a few, we get it down to about 28%. But it's still a lot of money.
30% of the total
So,
order.
so they still, you've only managed to knock 2% off.
Yeah, because
despite
you know
having
what the
100.
problem is? Once you've joined them, you can't
That's it.
then go and
They
say,
know, they've got
then
you.
they got you. Because we
Yeah.
got shops doing like $8,000 a week on Uber alone. And
Oh.
if you say, I'm going to turn off the machine, they'll say, all right, turn it off then. No, that's $8,000, then you're losing in sales. The trick is to try and convert those customers into direct customers. We've got our own app and our own website, but you know these companies spend like millions on marketing, and like psychologically it's so easy. People just pick up
have it
their
there,
phone
just
and go on
figure it out.
Deliveroo and Uber. So that's the thing. It's an unnecessary evil.
It's also like, how do you get enough drivers to be able to
Yeah.
match their delivery time? That's just
Difficult,
crazy,
yeah.
bro.
It's difficult.
You're talking about, you're saying at one point you wanted to get 500 shops. Are those all going to be in the UK, or are you thinking global expansion?
Yeah, I think we can get, if Domino's have got 1,200 shops in the UK, I think we can get 500 comfortably. But we've got a shop in Amsterdam. It opened a year ago.
How's that going?
That's doing well, but obviously it's a brand new country, so no
Yeah.
one really knows about it.
Yeah.
So
Why did you choose Amsterdam first?
that's just the brother of one of the franchisees over here. He said, I'm moving to Amsterdam. Can I, open on this? So we said, yeah. And it's been there a year. It's going well. We've got shops under construction right now in Turkey and Portugal.
Wow.
So they should be open in a few weeks. And then we've got a shop that we just signed the lease on in Dubai.
Nice.
So that's
Wow.
I was about to say Dubai,
excuse
but
for a
Yeah.
holiday. Excuse for a holiday.
I was going
Yeah.
to say, where's like your ideal country? Where do you have a goal?
Anywhere hot.
Anywhere, yeah?
I'll go anywhere.
Oh, sounds like me. No, I was seeing. I was in Dubai recently, and I saw. I think there was a GDK that opened up.
Yeah, there
right?
is. Yeah, they're
And so-
smashing it as well. I know the owner of GDK. Yeah, they're smashing it.
So it makes sense. Definitely makes sense that you open up in Dubai, because a lot of the
I
UK
definitely makes
culture.
sense. We open up a dealership in Dubai.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
That's
why
another
not?
one.
On that long, I forgot the name.
Sheikh
that,
Zayed.
Yeah, that is so many car like
So many car
If
dealers.
you open there, that would be mad.
Just give us some money and then we'll do
Oh,
it.
I left my wallet out.
But no, it's the whole Dubai thing is they like the UK culture,
Yeah.
whether it's the music, and it's the crazy thing is that you got UK rappers going there every single
Yeah.
week, and
It's
and-
mad because they like the UK culture, but at the same time, we like their culture because it pushes entrepreneurship.
Yes.
It pushes, the government aren't trying to squeeze you for every penny.
Yeah.
They're not getting involved in loads of other countries. They want to make their city as good as possible. And I think it's inspirational. Like, the service is 10 out of 10. If you're going to go to Dubai and open anything and the service is like not 10 out of 10, I don't think you stand a chance.
No,
'cause
no way.
It has to be like over the top. Everything has to be over the top.
Going
you
back
ever
to
think-
service, what are you trying to do? Sorry, we touched on your deliveries. What are you trying to do to reduce your deliveries by that 15-minute gap?
Technology, so like driver management, driver tracking, technology. That's the
Okay.
way, some of these pizza brands that you see, they're actually not pizza brands, they're tech companies, but pizza is like, it's their tech companies. So like they invest so much money in tech, and the tech basically just runs the whole thing, from preparing the food to getting customers to deliveries to everything. It's
how can
I was
tech
reading
prepare
on
the
that.
food?
It's
So-
Domino's, right?
just like just the ovens, just the systems that they got. Obviously, you still need people working, but
it.
just the systems to make everything as simple as possible.
Just run smoothly.
I was
Yeah.
reading on that recently. They said Domino's, it was their tech which was invested into the whole, let the customers see what's happening on the whole order process, and that was
exactly.
what ended up.
Yeah,
making their online orders quadruple or something in the
really?
space
Bro, they
of
got
a-
400
Wow.
people working just on their
Oh my
app
God.
and website. They invested at least £1 million because we speak to the company that done it for them. At least £1 million on their app, and then the maintenance cost, God knows how much that is. Like every month for like 400 people working on it.
Wow.
That's
I was
crazy.
going to say, when it comes to expansion as well, would you not think about the States? Because surely that, if you can penetrate that market,
To be honest,
you've
I
made
think
it.
we'll focus a bit closer to home. And I've never been to the States, so I can't really comment. But from what I see, they kind of eat anything, and the quality. Obviously, there must be quality restaurants there. I'm not saying there's no quality there, but I'm saying there's so much competition and so much like fast food and junk food that maybe one day I need to go there first. But I've never been there. But I think Dubai, Europe, is
You'd like to think that New York's probably got the pizza scene sewn up.
Yeah.
Because of the Italian.
You've been there?
I've not been
I've never
New York.
been
I've been Miami, but
Yeah.
I don't remember having a good pizza in Miami. Just lots of burgers and stuff like that. But no, I think you're right. I think you're, like Dubai, Saudi Arabia. I mean, Saudi Arabia, what
yeah,
they're
that's popping off in it right now.
it's nuts. I think they just
They just
legalized
lifted,
alcohol.
yeah.
Right?
They're allowed to
That's
drink there.
crazy.
Yeah.
Legalized alcohol.
We've sold the master franchise rights, the exclusive rights for India, Australia, New Zealand, Spain, Germany, and
What, to one person or to
somewhere else.
multiple
No,
different people?
everyone different.
All-
Wow.
So
multiple
basically,
people.
they run that. No one can open stores in that country unless they go through them,
Why
and
they-
they can charge people
Oh, wow.
whatever they
What
want.
would they have paid you for that?
Lump sums. It depends on the country and depends how many. Like the potential. Like Australia, you give me like 150 grand. But I'm never going to open a store in Australia, so it kind of makes sense. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I'm not going to go to India and open a
But
store.
no, these people you've sold the rights to, have they paid you something up front, or is it
No, they
only
paid
on
all
a-
of it.
Oh, they have, okay.
Yeah,
And
they
then,
paid all of it.
even though they've paid you for the master franchise, will you also make money out of these the stores?
Yeah,
that
so we'll
open?
supply flour and tomato
Okay.
direct from Italy.
Wow.
Okay.
So there's no point us like supplying olives and all that because it doesn't make sense financially. It's a bit too expensive. They can get it locally, and like all the other stuff, sweet corn is sweet corn, pineapple's pineapple. But the flour and tomato, which is like the USP, that will get shipped from Italy.
So that's unique to you. Those two
that's
ingredients
specially made.
are
The
unique to
recipe's
you.
made for us.
Okay.
And the international stores, even though they're run by a master franchise, would they still pay you the £800 a month as well?
No,
Okay.
we've let them, run with it because
Yeah.
obviously it's a big job. It's not easy to, and there's no guarantee it will work in
Yeah,
some of
yeah.
these countries. So they are taking a risk.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Big
But we
risk,
will
yeah.
supply the tomato and the flour, and obviously the busier they are, the more tomato and flour.
What's
they'll-
so special about your tomato and flour then?
So the tomato is fresh tomatoes from Amalfi Coast, and then it's got a certain amount of herbs and spices like salt, olive oil, oregano, basil, and then the flour is made up of 3 different flours. So back in the day when we had like 5 shops, we used to get 3 different flours, mix this one, mix that one, but then we thought, chefs are getting it wrong. Don't want to rely on staff all the time. So we got the company in Italy to pre-mix it and
good.
package it in our bags, so no one knows where it comes from, no one knows the recipe.
You were directly involved in.
I think that's important to do.
So you've
early on.
actually got a passion for ingredients. You've got a passion for food
100%.
from young.
Yeah. My family are in Italy. Like, some of my family are in Italy, so they helped with the sourcing of the
Oh, wow.
ingredients.
Would you say your passion grew before you opened the store, or it grew stronger as the stores were getting bigger?
Passion for expanding and business obviously grew as we expanded, and I saw it was working. But passion for food, I think, from early on. I eat pretty much anything. I travel like far and wide to try different things. I remember like my friends in college would call me like, "Where are you?" I'm like, "I'm in Brighton." Like, "What are you doing in Brighton?" I was like, "Oh, I found this really good coffee shop on Google. It's like the best coffee." There's like,
Oh,
you went
wow.
away to Brighton for a coffee.
That's
but
pretty cool.
my passion is food. I think it's important to do something that you're remotely interested in, because if you're not, you're more likely to give up. I think you need to enjoy it, because otherwise then it won't seem like work.
Yeah.
If it seems like work and it's boring, you're not gonna stick at it.
George was meant to be a master chef at some point.
Is it?
Yeah.
I still am a master chef.
Yeah.
Say again?
I still am a master chef.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We
I
still
was
got
too
our,
good for the program. That's why. Yeah.
we still got our scrambled eggs
we'll have to confirm that.
competition coming up next week.
Yeah, we have cook-offs upstairs.
Could do our own GVE version of "Come Dine with
Yeah.
Me."
That would be quite good.
David's referring to this is just when I think it's probably a good 10 years ago.
10 years ago, easily.
I did apply to MasterChef,
Yeah.
and they they sent through the invitation saying, come down, have a look. You had to do like the trials before it went to camera.
Yeah.
I was too good for it. I was like, I'm not going to do trials. I'm beyond that. Yeah. So Fireway is doing amazing, clearly. I mean, let's get into the nitty gritty of it. What are your annual figures at the moment, profit and revenue?
So we've been going for 6 years, 6.5 years. So this is our 7th year. So we've got 6 years of accounts. We've got stores doing, as I said, 27,000 a week, and we've got stores doing £5,000 a week. But the average is about 12. So from a brand point of view, like as in how many pizzas do we sell and how much food do we sell, just under 60 million a year. In terms of a head office, because obviously at head office we don't sell pizza, we only supply the ingredients, charge franchise fees, etc., etc. So from a head office point of view, we're doing about 17 million a year.
Wow.
Yeah.
17 million revenue and profit?
Profit about 1.5.
Oh, that's amazing, man.
And the majority of it's actually coming from the shops, or is it mainly coming from your distribution?
It's the most of the money comes from distribution to the stores, and then obviously there's a small bit that's the franchise fees. But as I said, we're still growing, so the fact that we've made profit for the last pretty much every year, apart from 1 year where we just reinvested everything,
That's brilliant.
then I can't complain.
What's that end goal to sell it?
Yeah, I think maybe, but now it's too early because obviously we're just getting started. Obviously, internationally, Dubai, if Dubai takes off and if India takes off, there's more Domino's and Pizza Hut are doing better in India than they are in the UK. So you can imagine if India takes off, like that would be a whole nother level. So I think now would be the wrong time to sell anything. We've recently sold 6% of the business just to raise some money.
What was that to, like private equity or something?
It was to 6 individual investors
Okay.
already involved in the business. They either got shops or they're suppliers, or they're just family of people that we know. So they're already around the business. So they took 1% each. And then literally last week, we decided to go on Crowdcube, which is basically like a crowdfunding. So basically you can give back to your customers. Your customers can invest anything from £10 to £1 million, and they get shares in the company. So
and how did that go?
It went well. Within 2 weeks, we raised $500,000 and we gave away 2.5%.
Wow.
2.5% for
$500,000.
quid.
But if someone walks in today and says, here's a check, here's a blank check, Mario, I want you out, I want your business.
You've probably got a few of them people buying cars like this.
You never know, you're in the right place. What's the figure? What's the figure?
Would that figure be? Yeah.
It would have to be, if it's already valued at 20 million by like accountants and professionals, for me to then forget about the whole future and to walk away from everything, it would need to be realistically. I say this, someone's going to come.
It's a round figure, isn't it?
Maybe I'll be reasonable about 40.
40 mil.
Because you're giving away the whole future, the next 20 years. Most companies, like Domino's been around in the UK since 1985. So what's that? That's like 30, 40 years nearly. And we've been around for 6 years. So to walk away from everything, I don't think I'd ever walk away in full. I definitely want to keep at least like 5% just to say that I've still got something.
So if somebody buys you now for 40 million after watching this, do we get a cut?
Yeah.
We get a commission, yeah? All right,
at least 3 pizza.
Let's get working.
We're going to find this buyer for you.
Just give me a store or free pizza all year. I'm good. I'm good
free
with free
pizza for life.
Oh yeah, that's it for life.
The next segment of the show will be what's been going on at GVE. Enjoy.
Every 6 to 7 years, Ferrari grace us with a limited-run, track-focused variant of their mid-engine supercar. The list includes the legendary 360 Challenge, the brutal 430 Scud, and probably the most balanced and precise of them all, the 458 Speciale. So when it came time for the 488 Pizza to be launched, you could imagine the pressure was definitely on, and it had some pretty big boots to fill. And boy, did it fill them. Ferrari took the base 488 GTB and turned it all the way up to 11 with this one. The Pista isn't Ferrari's first track-focused supercar, and it certainly won't be its last. However, none of its predecessors have ever had such a leap in performance and technology as the Pista has. The twin-turbo V8 engine used in the 488 GTB actually won numerous awards for Engine of the Year. 50% of the engine components in the Pista were actually taken straight out of the Ferrari Challenge car back in 2018 and used for the Pista. Back in 2019, when the cars were first launched, we actually achieved a staggering £100,000 over list on an early car we took into stock. After Brexit and COVID hit in early 2020, the car market took a hit and the Pistas plummeted from that £400,000 all the way down to £300,000. Looking back at all the Pistas we had sold over the last 3 or 4 years, I can see that in November 2021, we actually sold a 2019 car with 3,000 miles for £290,000. In July 2023, we had sold a similar spec car with similar mileage for £310,000. Just recently in January this year, we'd achieved a staggering £320,000 for a Pista with 5,000 miles. The values of the Pistas have stayed stronger and firmer than any other car at this price range. And with the introductions of the hybrid engines that Ferrari are producing, the twin-turbo V8 will soon be a thing of the past, and I can only see values of these cars going one way.
Guys, we're here in the showroom of dreams on the turntable with something very special under covers. You guys are halfway through an amazing podcast with the main man himself, Mario from Fireaway Pizzas. Thank you for the business. Make sure you guys keep watching it because it is an amazing podcast. Watch until the end. This man gives some very, very, very unique and secret tips to the trade. So I think without further ado, you want to see what's under this. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Wow.
Congratulations.
Nice. Thank you, bro. Appreciate that, man.
That is a beautiful, stunning car.
It does look nice. It's gonna get dirty though. That's the only thing, but it does look. It looks amazing. Smashed it.
So why did you choose a Rolls Royce when you've already got the Urus?
I think exactly that. I got the Urus, which is like a sporty option, and this is obviously like a classic, relaxed, slow drive kind of option. So now I got the both.
It's got the Starlight in there,
yeah.
I mean, with it being a black badge, it's fully spec. You can't get anything pretty much higher than this. You want to be careful with the wheels though. They're carbon fiber wheels.
Yeah, I've got a bad reputation for curbing alloys. So
you definitely don't want to curb them. No. They're about 20 grand for the set.
Bloody hell.
The one really nice thing on this as well that I've seen, it's still got the chrome contrast.
I was debating to wrap it in like a matte black and like gloss black, but yeah. I don't know. Keep it like this for a while at least.
The best thing is this is the original paint, so if you wrap it and then you come back to the original, it's almost like
yeah. Looking forward to driving it, man. Thanks once again.
No problem. Thank you.
Be back soon.
Today we've got this McLaren 570S in for an alarm issue. The customer was complaining that the car was making this sound. So the car beeps for a while and is distracting all his neighbors and everything, and he's not happy with it. I've scanned the car, it's coming up with LIN bus. So that means find the problem. So the machine is not telling me where the actual problem is. I will show you now where the problem is. 9 times out of 10 is a man-made issue. When he was locking the car, when he was walking away from the car, the alarm kept going off. When he scanned the car, it just says LIN bus. So there's a CAN problem somewhere in the control modules, either the seat control modules, the door control modules, or even the center console control modules. But where the common problem normally lies on is the center. It's where people normally strip that out. This one's got a modified stereo system. So when they strip it out, they end up pinching 1 or 2 of the wires. So now we're stripping everything out to diagnose the problem. How simple was that? That's McLaren for you. Control module, passenger side control module. To see if there's any water damage. The reason why I'm checking all this is because as soon as you lock the car, you leave it for 10-15 minutes, the alarm starts going off. And when you scan the car, security control modules are playing up, but the actual security control module is perfectly fine. The doors, the seats, the lighting, the ignition power, everything speaks to the security control module. So if there's any sort of issue, like wiring or control modules, any light failure, anything electrical failure, the car will not secure properly. As soon as you leave the car, when you lock the car, it will not, when the CAN lines don't talk to each other properly, the alarm will go off. So that's why I'm stripping the car down, finding out where the issue is to get it rectified. As mentioned, we found the fault on the center console area. I had to go through all the control modules to find out exactly where the fault was. The fault was on the center console. There was 2 wires that was trapped. I got it all repaired. Now the car locks without any sound. Listen to this. Everything works perfectly fine now. No more sound. Your neighbors are happy. Now, stay tuned for this madness.
Mario, I think when we first touched base, it was through DMO, and it was all about cars. I think at the time you were looking for a Lamborghini Urus.
Yeah.
You clearly got a passion for it because you've gone through a few cars. Where does your passion for cars come from?
Probably a young age. I mean, yeah, houses and cars. I'm not a massive like petrol head, to be fair with you, but obviously I like cars, and I always wanted like a sporty one and then like a classic one. For the business wise, we've got 5 Teslas all wrapped in orange. I know Tesla's not your area's expertise, but like your kind of cars, I've got a Urus which we wrapped in orange, which we use for some promo as well in bright orange, and a Rolls, soon to be a Rolls Royce Wraith. I think a sporty version and a like a classic version, but I've also got a Tesla as well, which is like a daily car.
So your first venture into supercars was the Urus?
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
Yes.
What was your history with cars before that?
The first car, as I said, I had the crash in the first one. That was a 2004 compressor CLK.
Oh, nice.
That I went all the way
Nice.
up to Lincolnshire to buy when I was 21, 22. But again, that didn't last long because of that crash that got written off. And then after that, I had a BMW 3 Series, 2007 plate. Weren't a fan of that. Mercedes, basically. Mercedes was the more, I prefer, yeah, Mercedes are nice. I've had a CLK. I haven't got the greatest memory. CLK and...
Pretty much every Mercedes model then.
Yeah. CLK and the compressor, was that a CLK?
Yeah,
You could
you could
get
get a
different.
CLK compressor.
Yeah, but that's like a coupe, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the CLK, the long one where all the windows go down, what's that one?
Convertible.
CL.
CL.
Oh yeah, the CL. That was nice.
That's
yeah.
not, yeah,
Pillars.
well, that was the second one, where
Yeah.
all the windows go down. And that is pretty much it. And then Teslas, there might have been another one.
Would you ever consider getting rid of the Urus?
To be honest, I'm happy with a Urus and a Rolls Royce now. I mean, that's me. I don't really switch cars that often. I'm happy. They're a sporty version, a sporty option, and then a classic like businessman car.
It's funny you say your sporty version's the Urus. So would you never go for like a 2-seater supercar?
I've been in one, but they're just too difficult to get out of.
Really?
on a regular basis for me, and also the whole mileage thing, because I do a lot of driving, so I'll be worried about driving it too much. And with them kind of cars, as you said, you need to be careful.
Let's say, okay, you got the Wraith and you got the Urus, so mileage isn't going to be an issue now because you're building your 100-car collection. Is there a dream car that you'd want in your garage?
No, they are my dream cars. There's nothing better than that in my opinion, that I would have. But obviously, as a daily car, to get rid of the Tesla, maybe like an S-Class, like a nice like car to be driven in, comfortable. Yeah, but in terms of like supercars, I'm happy with the
You're
Urus.
happy.
And,
Until someone walks through that door and gives you 40 million.
Yeah, well then
it's a different
I'll
story.
come to you, saying what you got.
We've got a
I
lot.
think maybe a Ferrari, maybe.
An Enzo?
Yeah, not that one.
Not
that one. Yeah, maybe.
So what drives you then? Other than, I mean, a lot of the guests that we have coming here are massively driven by cars. Like DMO was probably that his main thing is buying a whole load of cars.
To be honest, if someone came through and gave me like a ridiculous amount of money for the business, what would I spend it on? I mean, like I said, I've already got a Lamborghini and a Rolls Royce now. So what other cars for me would excite me? Nothing really. I've already got a nice 5-bedroom house. How big? And I live on my own. So how much of a bigger house can I get? It's what drives me is now.
Yeah, what gets you up in the morning? I know
I
you're
would
not a
say
morning person.
building a brand. I would say building a brand, because a brand, you can never, there is no end goal. Like if you say I want that house, you get that house, or want that Ferrari, and then I get that Ferrari. But in terms of building a brand, there's no limit. So I would say that would be the thing that keeps me going, just building a bigger and bigger brand that people will remember a long time after I'm gone.
Okay, so the next segment is a quick fire round. Going to be a mixture of business and supercar questions. So pineapple on pizza.
Me personally, yes, but don't tell my family that I said that.
Surely that's not an Italian thing, no?
To be honest, it's a good, you'll be surprised.
What is your favourite pizza?
A barbecue base, again, not very Italian, barbecue base with sweet corn, olives and onions.
No meat.
And jalapenos. No, I do eat meat, but yeah.
No.
You don't, do you have an Indian kind of pizza? Because I'll be into that.
We do like a spicy, like jalapeno, chicken tikka that we've added recently, and jalapenos. Yeah, we do some spicy ones.
Do you eat pizza every day?
I used to.
Yeah.
But in the last 2 months, I've lost about 12 kilos.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah. 10 kilos in 10 weeks, yeah.
Well done.
I still eat pizza, but not
as
not
often.
as much as when I used to, because obviously I was in the shop working every day, so I didn't have any other option.
It would be amazing if you like try and design this carb-free pizza, like a different base.
We do gluten-free, we do vegan, but also we're looking at a protein and cauliflower base. So instead of made out of dough, it's made out of cauliflower.
Oh, wow. So that's coming like soon, potentially. Yeah.
Favorite supercar brand and why?
Lamborghini, obviously it's Italian. They do both models in a big option and a small option, and both of them look amazing compared to the other companies that, you know, the big one don't look great or the small one don't look great. Yeah. So Lamborghini.
Fine. Most bizarre talent that you have that people don't know about you?
I wouldn't say it's bizarre. Maybe just like building a brand. Can't say that I've got any. I haven't got any time. I haven't got time for any other talents, to be honest.
Most valuable piece of advice you've ever received?
Not to focus on like the money when you're starting a business, but to be honest, that's what everyone focuses on, because that's why they get into business. And now once you hit that level, it's easy for you to say, oh, don't focus on the money because you're already there. But it is kind of true, because when you're too focused on the money, even for like 20% of the time, that 20% of the time could have been used to focus on building a brand. You know, I used to, when I was younger, you know, drive around all these like private estates, looking at nice houses, going on Auto Trader and eBay, looking at all these cars. And it's all right to be like motivated and to manifest it, but there is a limit, because once you do that too much, you're living in a dream world. So just maybe don't focus as much on the money, because the money will come regardless.
Favorite way to unwind after working?
Recently, gym, but there was a long time, a big period that I never went to the gym, and it would just be, I like drives in the countryside, like out of London, just like the Cotswolds or Oxford, just go for like, it's only like an hour from my house, to drive down there and just relax. Yeah,
that's nice.
For me personally, it's on my own. It just brings some like sense of like calm, because my phone rings constantly. God knows how many missed calls I'm gonna have after this, like at least like 100 times a day.
Really?
Wow.
So that drive would be with your phone off, no music, just...
Do not disturb.
Yeah. In the countryside,
I might do that in
Give it a go.
couple of hours.
Honestly,
You're never going to see him again. He's like, I'm in the Cotswolds.
I'm sitting in a field in the Cotswolds.
With sheep, I'm about to get arrested.
But no, your unwind thing
That
now
is-
is at a gym.
It is gym as well. It is gym. But I was just going to say, it's funny you say that about the drives, because it's something about going in a drive, just switching off, and you're connected to the road. For me, I like to drive a bit quick. So it's like going down these countryside roads and you're just focused on the drive. You're focused on making sure that you drive the car as well as you can.
Yeah.
And almost in a way, it switches off from everything else. It's a way of meditating without actually even thinking you're meditating, because you're so focused on what you're doing.
That's true.
And it's very rare you find something else that you can actually do that with. Because obviously my passion is driving as well, similar to yours.
But no, I you know, like every time I drive with a destination in mind. I need to get there. I need to get there by that time.
Yeah.
But it's funny because
Rushing.
I never do that.
Yeah.
That sounds quite cool. I wouldn't mind doing that. So what's been the most challenging decision you've ever had to make in business?
Challenging decision that I had to make in business. I mean, there's multiple ones, but if I had to choose one, it would be like a year ago. We had an offer for someone to come along and say, look, let us deal with your distribution. They've already got a massive wholesalers, Turkish guys, and they said, look, we'll give you some money, you just focus on the brand and we'll deal with the distribution. And they were offering a nice amount of money and I was going to do it, but one of my guys that I work with at the top, like one of my partners, if you like, he just said, look, this is where most of the money comes from. If you sell this, you might as well just forget about everything. You know what I mean? And once you have 500, 600 stores, then that's a lot of money. Obviously, it's a lot of headache as well, drivers, insurance, and all the rest of it. But I decided against it, and luckily
it was the right decision.
Touch with that, because we are like a wholesale business, distribution business.
It's really interesting. It's just like McDonald's, right? McDonald's don't call themselves a restaurant business, property business. It's interesting. What's the one thing that you can't live without? Don't say pizza.
Coffee.
Oh yeah, just like
coffee.
me.
Yeah, I'm a big coffee person. I need to, otherwise, yeah. But saying that, I only normally have one a day, but that normally does the job. I know some people, especially in Italy, they're like, you have maybe 3 or 4 espressos every day.
But do you know, somebody told me about that the Italians got it right. When we go to a proper coffee shop even your normal coffee shops, your Costas, whatever, the amount of caffeine they give you in that shot of coffee is so much, right? That when you take it, it's like you're buzzing
too much, isn't it? You can't even. It's like there's focus, and then there's like
able to shaking, like shaking because you've had too much caffeine. Whereas in Italy, correct me if I'm wrong, by the way, but they have single espressos.
Yeah,
and they have one, and then they get on with the day, and then in a little while they have another one. So they spread that caffeine
across.
They even have it at night, like in the evening. I don't know if I can do that.
How they do that? Yeah.
Maybe their body's just used to it, and if they want to sleep, they can sleep.
I wouldn't be able to fall asleep and have a coffee after 4 p.m.
100%.
I'll be up all
but
night.
the problem is you like coffee Patron.
No, but a bottle of that does put you to sleep.
A bottle.
What's a pizza that you'd most describe like a supercar? That's a weird question.
It's a weird question, but we do like Nutella pizza. Okay. So Nutella with chopped nuts and marshmallows, it's banging. You need to try it. Yeah, a lot of people they like think twice, but once you try it, that's
actually a thing in Lebanese.
Okay.
And in Lebanon, that's a dessert. It's a pizza base with Nutella and nuts on top. It's a big thing out there. Yeah.
Okay. All right, fine. So that's the end of the quick fire round. Final segment of the podcast is just reflection and advice. So what's been your proudest moment when you look back at the business?
Business-wise, I would say winning the Entrepreneur of the Year award 2022 in London, and on a personal achievement, probably buying my mama house.
Finally, what key advice would you give yourself if you were to go back, like 15 years ago to your younger self?
Probably just start sooner. After I failed that coffee shop and got a job in Nando's, I spent about 2 years wasting time, getting into trouble, messing around. And then I spent another 2 years thinking of what to do and coming up with all these ideas. And then I realized now, just go with it, just start, because ideas and planning is good, but not like that long. You can plan an idea and decide what you're going to do in maybe like a month or 2 months, and just go with it and just start as soon as possible. Because if I had started that extra 2 years, I'd be 2 years ahead now. So, we could have 200 stores, 250 stores. But that whole, what should I do, and should I do this, and should I do that, and end up doing nothing, I'd say just start as soon as possible. And if it fails, it fails. But at least you started, and it's better than wasting time, 2 years, just not knowing what to do.
Amazing.
Good advice. Thank you. Thanks, Mario, for coming.
Thank you, man.
And if you like this episode, please like, subscribe, and share. Until next time, see you later.